Welcome back. This is Mrs. Carter for Viper Flight's Drawing 1. Today we're going to talk about surrealism. What is surrealism? Surrealism is a movement in art and literature that flourished in the early 20th century. Surrealism aimed at expressing imaginative dreams and visions free from conscious, rational control. So that basically means that it was tapping in to the unconscious mind to release creativity. So a really good way of talking about surrealism is saying, or explaining surrealism is basically saying that it's a distortion of reality, so more like a dreamlike state. Key features of surrealism. It sought to free the imaginative human mind and reveal the unconscious, encouraging radical change and rejection to logic and reason. Surrealism literally means above and beyond reality. A couple of other things: surrealism or surrealist art often showed weird, bizarre, dreamlike subject matter because surrealist artists were interested in depicting the world of dreams, nightmares, desire, and imagination. This is a Salvador Dali piece. This one is particularly named The Dream. I don't know if you are familiar with said piece, but it is one of his most popular. The movement began in Paris in the 1920s, particularly in reactions to the horrors of World War I, and was also influenced by the research and work of Australian neurologist Sigmund Freud. So any of you that are taking psychology, you're probably pretty familiar with him. Freud had significant influence on the beliefs and practices of surrealists. He believed that our subconscious thoughts and our conscious thoughts are symbolically represented in our dreams, and fully understand ourselves, we need to tap into these dreams and messages. Artists, writers, and poets were inspired to explore the conscious and subconscious mind. So basically, he influenced artists to tap into their unconscious side and create things that are, again, in a dreamlike or bizarre state. Dada was a closely associated movement with surrealists, which began in Europe around the 1916. Both Dadaists and surrealists felt a sense of freedom and expression and were appalled by the horrors of World War I. This was a way to create a radical new art or style that helped redefine the way that artists were able to think about society and so on. So in this particular piece, this is Marcel Duchamp. This was his surrealist piece named Fountain. And it's kind of an interesting story. So he actually wanted to test whether or not his name actually meant anything to art society rather than just a piece of artwork. So he decided he would go to the local hardware store, and he picked himself up a fabulous urinal, and he actually entered it into a show, and all he did was sign it. Surprisingly enough, it actually sold, and he wasn't surprised because he figured art now has just become, it's the name rather than the product. And so this was his way of kind of sticking it to the man and showing people that, yes, this has nothing to do with what we create. It's more about who we are as individuals and artists. Two main types of surrealism. You have the automatically, which is basically without thought. You just kind of have an expression and you throw some paint on the canvas. This is less perceived as art rather than just scribbles, but it is a form of a surrealism. This idea was adapted by many surrealists who painted whatever came into their minds. Artists such as Joan Miró, Spanish, and Andre Masson, who is French, tried to achieve this in their works through abstraction and without references to objects, people, places, or things. So this is a painting from Joan Mior, and this is Andre Masson, and this is a automatic drawing. So it's just basically like having fun and expressing themselves without worrying about references. The second group is called juxtaposition. That means it's unexpected places that were impossible, the way things may occur in a dream. So we have our automatically and our juxtaposition. And juxtaposition is my favorite because it has no rhyme or reason for why people are set up the way that they are. It's just there. Salvador Dali, he is one of our most known for surrealism. He approaches the surrealism, or his approach to surrealism is described as a spontaneous method of irrational behavior. He was a very odd man. He sought personal fame and was often outrageous in his life. So this mustache that he's wearing is a common theme. So here's another one of his pieces, the persistence of memory is what it's called. So real quick, for fun, how many clocks can you count in the persistence of memory? So I usually can only count 4, but you might see something different. And another thing is, what is surreal about this painting? Obviously, hopefully you're understanding that it is the melting clocks. Another thing that is really fascinating is this shape down here. If you look closely, some people see different things, but if you look closely, we can see an eyelash happening here, and then some sort of a shape of a nose. So some people say it's his face laying down, but surrealism is great because we all see different things. Another surrealist artist that is really, really popular is Rene Magritte. He often used everyday objects and transformed them, linking them back to initial function of the object. His ability to capture the form and paint realistically was important to him. Magritte paints Son of Man as a self-portrait with a suspended apple, defying gravity. In the rest of the setting, a brick wall, sea, and sky are normal. So that's this particular piece. So this is a self-portrait of him. And obviously the apple is just floating, and then we talked about how realistic his paintings were. Oops, my battery's low. Let's see if we can get through this. Another one of his works. This is my favorite. Down here at the bottom, it says, "This is not a pipe." I find that to be really interesting because he's kind of like saying, this is not a pipe. Obviously it's not. It's a painting of a pipe. Okay, and this is another one. CCNest pass un pipe. So that is the description of the painting we just talked about. Other surrealism artists that are more modern to the times, we have Andre Breton, Vladimir Kush, Michael Cheval. Oops. Yes, so we'll go, oops, sorry, right here. So we're going to do a little critical thinking with this. I want you to take the time on your own to go through and look at this, critical assessing this painting. What did you see first? Kind of go through and read through that. I'm not going to do it because you've got plenty of time to go on your own. And then for your task, what I want you to do is write a narrative explaining, or write a story or narrative explaining what you believe the dream, quote unquote, depicted in the artwork that you choose. So you're going to pick a surrealist piece, and then you're going to go ahead and narrate or explain the piece to me using like a story. Your second option is to describe the artwork. So I need to know, obviously, what did you see first? What colors are used? After contemplating, what do you now see? What is not right about the scene? How did the artist achieve this deception? So on each of these, you have to have at least a half page, and you need to include the artist's name and the title of the piece used. So you're going to go ahead and just write this up really quick. We're going to just discuss it. We'll actually put it in a discussion board. So we'll discuss it together as a group, and then we'll see what you guys come up with. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Again, let me know if you have any questions about this particular assignment, and then I hope to see you on the discussion board. Thank you.